everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rising Stories. I'm Corrine Sandifer, and I'm your host. Every week, I interview a business owner or author on the show, and we talk about life, we talk about business, we talk about writing, and whatever else happens to come up in the conversation. Life is not perfect, and nor is it black and white, and that is what I love about these interviews. My guests share their insights with you, and it's my hope that you will hear these stories and finish the podcast encouraged. Would love it if you would connect with me on Instagram. I'm at Corrine Sandifer, and a lot of times I post things on Story. I don't know if you've ever seen Story, but I absolutely love it, and it's fun to do, and so check it out. You'll see the little circle at the top if you want to click on that, and then you can see whatever I've been posting. And you got to do it right away because they only last about 24 hours. My guest today is Elizabeth Behan. She was recently inspired to open a coffee shop in her town after an unusual answer to a prayer request. Elizabeth dropped by the studio for a quick chat about launching a brick and mortar business while staying true to her creative side. Here's my conversation with Elizabeth. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
To Rising Stories. This is my studio. You're seeing the behind. This is my first live, so it's so weird because we're sitting across from each other.
Well, it's a super fancy studio, and
thank you.
I'm a little intimidated by fancy.
Thank you. So, tell me about yourself. Tell me what you do and who you are and.
I'm Elizabeth Behan, and my husband and my family and I opened a coffee shop. It's a coffee shop. We roast our own coffee. It's a restaurant. We serve breakfast and lunch and dinner sometimes, and it's a music venue. We do music on Saturdays. So it's kind of a lot of things in one big building.
Yeah. How's the music thing going?
It's going really well.
Really?
Every Saturday from 10 to 1, our house band or special guests play, and that is a really fun time to come and see music during the day. It's kind of a really chill atmosphere, but super fun. And then at night, we've had great bands in, local bands from up north.
What's your biggest person that you've had?
Well, just last weekend we had Lee Nash. So she is Sixpence None the Richer, and that really
is that who
amazing,
that was?
Yes, amazing voice.
Oh my gosh, how did I miss that?
Oh, it was so good. And we've had the Wooten Brothers, and we've had just people that are great, like really talented artists. That we've somehow just been blessed to meet and invite onto the stage. And our house band is phenomenal. They're this kind of bluegrass, eclectic. There's not really even a way to describe them. They're so good and kind of outside of what anyone else is doing.
When did they play?
They play every Saturday around 10, depending on how late they were out the night before. 10 to 1. This last weekend we had special guests. The Hickory Nuts and One Old Squirrel came in and played. Yeah, they're like 7 guys in the band, and some of them have been playing together for like 60 years. So that was super fun, and we had a guest come up for their set break, Christopher Keating, and he's from Maine, and he's just this amazing artist.
Do you ever get artists that are in town, and you're like, hey, can you come?
Sort of. We're starting to be where we're doing that.
Yeah.
We do have people that are coming through town that are connected with Wooten Woods, which is the Victor Wooten's camp, who we've met a lot of people from. And so as they come through and do workshops, or they come through to do meetings, and some of the people that we're working with, we'll just have people in from all over the country. And if we can kind of get them up on stage, then they do. It's neat. That's
awesome. You're going to be like the next Leapers Fork. What's that place at Leapers Fork?
Oh, Puckett's.
You're going to be like the next Puckett's, but in Fairview. I bet Fairview, for those of you who don't know, is a small town outside of Nashville. What about 30 miles?
Yeah.
About 30 miles outside of Nashville. And so the people at Fairview have been waiting for your coffee shop to open. Waiting. I remember we were every week they were like, when is it going to open? When is it going to open?
Yes.
And finally it did. And are they just welcoming you with open arms? And
yeah, it's been really neat. I think the main thing, we all love coffee, but really what our town was wanting was community and a place for a community to gather. And we just hear that over and over. And that was our goal and our vision. Yeah. And it's happening. We're seeing friendships created at the coffee shop, multi-generational friendships, which is neat. And neighbors who've lived in town for 20 years and never met anyone else in town are now meeting. People, it's becoming a hub of community, and that's really was our goal. But people are just so excited. They are appreciating the coffee. They are a little perturbed sometimes that they can't drink Folgers anymore, and we're turning them off from some of the other coffee places they're used to. They come in saying, "I tried to go somewhere else because we were wherever, and I can't do it."
Well, because you have your own roaster there.
We do. Yes, we roast.
You're roasting it in-house.
We do. When we use an infrared roaster, which it preserves the integrity of the coffee better than another heat source type of roaster. So it holds the antioxidants, it holds the flavor, the oils. We don't roast our coffee really super dark because we like to preserve the integrity of the bean. And so none of our coffee is bitter. None of it has that burnt taste to it. Yeah. And it stays fresh, and it is actually good for you because of the antioxidant properties. So all of that is in the cup, and you may not know that, but it tastes good. And people are very surprised at how much they're enjoying the coffee.
Wow. And you open up your doors to other groups, like you were saying, you wanted that community to come in. So you open your doors for Bible studies or any type of group gatherings.
Right. We really encourage people. Well, first of all, we encourage people that are working. So we have, a lot of people that come and sit all day. And so because of the way our store is laid out, it's very long and skinny. So people who are sitting there working on their laptops and focusing, they're not disturbed by the other things that are going on at the other end, which may include, we have a kids corner. So mom can come meet with girlfriends, or dad can come and meet with buddies, and the kids can be there playing. We have a Bible study that meets on Thursday nights. Grace Chapel hosts it. It's open to anybody. There's always people coming in and saying, "Hey, can I have my little meeting here? Can I invite these people here?" And we're always so welcome to have to host a spot where people can bring their friends to do whatever, whether it's a meeting or some meet and greets, little selling their wares, different things that people need a place in their community to do stuff. We're available for that.
Yeah. So start telling me about the beginnings of this coffee shop. I already know the story because you and I have worked together, but tell me the beginnings of why a coffee shop? Why did you open up a coffee shop? Well, in the middle of nowhere, kind of.
In the middle of nowhere. We've lived in that town for almost 20 years. Sure, we were waiting for a coffee shop because we like coffee, just like everyone else. Because
you and your husband,
it's a thing,
Yep.
We didn't know it was going to be us. Around Christmas 2014, I asked the Lord for a word for my husband as a Christmas gift. I really just sat down and wanted him to show me something he wanted me to say to my husband, Micah. It ended up being a very surreal experience, a very powerful move of the Lord as he led me to Micah chapter 11:17. And it kind of was this verse that painted a picture of our little town, just kind of out and separate. And it had some wording in there that I thought the Lord was just patting Micah on the back for his business. It was just this neat picture of a healthy community and business. And I was really excited to say that to Micah. He, however, walked in the house about 10 minutes later, white as a ghost. And he said, "I just clearly heard the Lord say we're supposed to open a coffee shop in Fairview."
Oh, whoa. So he was hearing.
Yes, we heard the Lord, both of us, almost audibly at the same time, separately. The last line of the verse that he led me to said, "Gather the people and nourish them, and I will show up and show them the wonders like I showed you when I first set you free." Micah heard, "Open a coffee shop where the people can gather, and I will show up."
Oh my goodness.
So
yeah.
Not knowing really anything about coffee.
Because you didn't know anything.
No. We knew that we like coffee black. It better be good enough to drink black. And that was kind of our family standard. That's all.
Yeah.
So we went to roasting school. We learned how to roast coffee. We went to barista school. We were blessed to find a building in the perfect location in our town. We renovated it. It was an old, it's been many things over its 50, 60 years, but it was grocery stores. It was the last 30 years, it was the farm co-op. So they sold animal feed and plant starts and different things like that. So we totally renovated the building and gutted it and made it able to serve people food and coffee.
Wow. So when you say we, like your whole family went to roasting school and to barista school.
Yes. Well, Micah and I went to roasting school.
Okay.
And then the
roast.
family went to barista school. And our family works there. Tegan works a lot. We're homeschooling him, and he does work study. And he works on the weekends. And Addie works on our weekends, and she helps pick up shifts wherever I need a shift covered. And then I'm there most days. We have an incredible staff that we've acquired this year, and Micah comes and roasts when he can on the weekends when he's not at his other job, and then we're all there Saturday nights with the music. And
because he has his own. He's his own business owner. He has his own business, also in Fairview, in the little town. But he and so he decided to do it. But so really, this was like all on you.
Yeah.
To do a lot of the work. And so
sort of I didn't quite understand that at first. I don't know why I didn't, because I knew that it wasn't going to be the thing where he was going to give up his other business and devote all his energy to this one. He was so gracious and was able to do a lot, especially right when we first opened. But since then, he's backed off, and he's doing his thing, and I'm doing my thing. Yeah. And he's so helpful to have covering me. He's a great mentor, and he keeps me going forward with his business experience. But it really is, it's a lot of me there.
Yeah. And you were an artist. I mean, you made jewelry.
Yes, made jewelry.
You would sell it just here, there, not on Etsy, but just here, there, and everywhere.
Right. I just carried my suitcase in my van, and if I ran into people who commented on what I was wearing, I would pull the suitcase out, and people would shop on the side of the road or in the parking lot or wherever I happened to be. That was fun. Or I did pop-up sales, craft shows, that kind of stuff.
And so you just really had to shift, and now I'm going to open up a coffee shop.
Well, I think thankfully in the Lord's grace, we got a building that had to be totally remodeled. So in the months before running the business part, I got to remodel a building. Yeah. Which is that's where my gift is.
That's where
the decorating, the building. We used all refound and repurposed materials inside. And I got to have my power tools out for months and doing woodworking.
Loved it.
So that I was prepared for that. I felt good about that. The Lord gave me a very clear vision of what the inside of the building was going to look like. Also has given me an amazing adventure hunt to find pieces that I've seen in visions that he's like I'm thinking about what it looks like, and then I find the antique cash register that, come to find out, is from 1905, and it came from a coffee shop in Germany. And really neat things like that all through the renovation. So I think I didn't really start thinking about how big it was going to be to run a business until probably after it opened.
Yeah. Well, I will say that I was hired to help you and kind of get a business mind. And I have seen you grow into your role.
Thank you.
Of a true businesswoman who is, running a staff, making orders, doing the books, doing all of that, which is a huge undertaking for
I've
someone.
Never had a full-time job before.
Right. As someone who hasn't had a full-time job, or someone who even hasn't really kind of been in the business end of it all, has been in the artistic part of, the world and
homemaker,
and homemaker.
I raised my babies at home.
Yeah. That was a big shift. That was a big shift. Yes. So I've seen you grow in your growth and just in development as a leader and as someone who, and a great leader at that. I mean, there have been some times when I'm like, you need to really stick it, to that and this and this. And you're like, I'm going to, with grace and with dignity and with some integrity, you've been walking this out. And it's been great watching you do what you need to do and been successful. Because I think that, like, how many people do y'all have on a Saturday night when you bring in these bands? Is it a packed house?
It is pretty full. Our capacity is like 75 people, and I think we generally sit around 50. And it grows. Yeah. That's a lot of people in our small town. We're looking to grow our capacity so we can. But I mean, we had a sellout show where all the tickets were gone.
Wow.
So and during the day on Saturdays it can be really packed in there. And we've got lunch and breakfast, and we have this nice crowd that comes and goes through, and then we have people who camp all day, and so it's neat. It's kind of always a little bit bustling in there, and then sometimes it's really bustling and there's no parking spots, and it's amazing.
And you have been juggling, homeschooling your son and your daughter graduating, and just all, life goes on.
And we moved.
And you have just purchased a new house and moved. Yeah. All that while
because that seemed like that would be a really when you do when you're super busy,
because why not?
Up and move, right?
Yeah. And you did it quite quickly.
We did.
I must say
it was really amazing, the speed and the ease of moving.
Really?
Yes.
So it was easy.
It was remarkably easy. We had the Graceworks truck park in our driveway, and we loaded it up with donations, and we got rid of more stuff than I ever would have imagined, because I'm sort of a hoarder. And
do you feel better now that you got...
I do. I mean, there's still one room in the house that's got boxes in it, but we're living way scaled down, and it's nice. This house has been it's a retreat, and it's very peaceful, and we feel like when we get home from our busy schedule and our busy work that it is a retreat.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
That's surreal. We sometimes just look around and go, wait, where's our life now? We have a new house. We have this business. We have
because you lived in a smaller place. Like it was what, 1,200 or 1,500, 1,200 square feet. Yeah. And so now this is bigger.
It's 26. So it's
big.
It is big, but it's not too big.
It's not
huge,
I
feel like I can't handle it and keep up with it.
Yeah.
But it's on 8 acres, and there's a river, and it's got a fire pit, and so it's neat.
It's totally you guys.
It
totally
is. We were very overwhelmed and amazed by the perfect fit of it all.
Yeah. So you tell me a day in the life of Elizabeth Behan. Just pick a day, because I know each day is probably different, but it probably starts the same because you've got to make coffee.
Well, it depends. It depends on what I'm doing. Kind of every day of the week I'm doing something different, because there are, in the middle of the week I do open the shop. So I'll open the kitchen, and that's, making all the stuff for breakfast. And then the next day I open the front of the house. So I am making the coffee and setting up the front. And I do that for 2 mornings. And then I have a wonderful staff. So I'm not opening up by myself every day. I was for a long time until we've grew into some more. We've got our roles covered. So that's eased back a lot. But I'll come in, and kind of every day it is different. One day I try to focus on ordering and inventory. Next day in the morning, mornings I have a set goal. I do bills and payroll, and then I'll look at marketing, and then I try to do one of those target things a day, and then the afternoon kind of everything fills in. And I'm doing, I'm helping make drinks, I'm with the customers, I'm running errands. There's kind of a million things going on all the time. And then my goal always is that by Friday afternoon, I'm done with all of the kind of businessy owner stuff, so that Saturday I can be available to be even more interactive with our customers, and be able to sit and have a cup of coffee with people and really hostess, which is what I love.
And that was most. Your heart.
And that's what comes easiest to me. So it's nice to be where I've gotten to the discipline to be able to do that instead of still catching up on Saturdays. And then Saturday night, it's like a party. The music is
Wow.
there. We're
That's
running
great.
drinks. We have craft beers and dinner items on Saturday nights. So it's like a whole different
You have dinner
atmosphere.
items? See, I didn't know that.
We do.
Okay.
And Micah is an amazing chef.
He is.
He comes
Your
up with some
husband, Micah, yeah.
really great things. So he has fun on Saturday nights throwing
Does
out
he-
different dinner specials.
Is he the chef?
On Saturday nights, he sets the menu. He creates the meal. We have a guy who works in our kitchen during the week, and he helps Micah on Saturday nights.
Oh,
but yeah,
wow.
Micah sets the menus and creates the recipes, and he is an artist in the kitchen. So
I did not know that. I'm going to have to definitely... I hate that I missed last weekend. I was like, I know this girl from somewhere.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember, but yeah.
She's a big deal. It
Yeah,
was really
she
great.
is
And
a big deal.
she's a regular. Like, most importantly, she
That's
is family
great.
there. And
Oh,
it was so
that's wonderful.
neat because even though I like music,
Yeah.
I don't ever recognize people. I don't know who's who. And so they specifically were a sweet couple that come into the shop a lot. And as we get talking and as we get to know each other, we're like, that's you on the radio right now. That's neat.
That's hilarious.
So it's always funny when there are several people in there that will be on the radio and we're standing there looking at them, and it's neat, and they're friends, and we're really proud of them, and it's sweet to share that and get to give them a place in their town. This weekend they mentioned how sweet it was to be able just to go down the road and have a show, and it's like a family thing. And
So if you could say one thing to Elizabeth way back before you started and opened up the building, what would you say?
Well, recently I think it was probably 2 or 3 months ago. We hit a really stressful time. It was kind of shorthanded, and we were transitioning some stuff. And the Lord said to me, I've got all the gaps covered, and led me to Psalms 139. He says he goes ahead. He hems me in, ahead and behind. And I think that always, if I remember that, it's good. He's got all the gaps. So when I'm facing things that I don't know how to do, or I don't know what it's going to look like, or I'm fighting against what it means to not have somebody in the role that I needed, that means I'm the one that gets to be in that role.
Right, yeah.
The kitchen was very intimidating to me. But I crossed that, and I worked in the kitchen, and I did fine, and it was great.
Wow.
And then the Lord planted the person that he had all along in mind. And so I think it would have to be his words, not mine. Just that he goes before me and behind, and there's no need for me to freak out about it. And he's been faithful.
Those are great words. Absolutely. Yeah. That's very comforting for anybody, really. For any business owner or writer or someone who's doing a big venture like that, just that he's got you. Yeah. Yep.
And it's stretching at times, because I know that, but it might not happen right when I want it to.
Right. Right.
There was a long stretch where I was being stretched continually, but I'm appreciative now. It's called me to walk in places I wouldn't have chosen to walk, but I need to know, and I need to be hands-on. I don't want to be disconnected from any section of my business. And so when it looked like I was shorthanded, I really wasn't. The Lord just wanted my hands in certain areas. And so it's been neat to see, and to have the grace for it, to be able to do things that I don't know how to do. I've never had any training. They're coming seemingly natural, but I know it's his grace, and I know it's his leading, and I'm pressing into him to teach me how to be a businesswoman.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So tell me, are you a reader? Do you like to read?
I read to-do lists. I read Post-it notes. I read sales reports. Back in the day, before I had anything else going on.
Yeah, you used to be
big reader.
Big reader.
So I'm hosting book club next week.
Okay.
I'm hoping I will read the first chapter and the middle chapter and the last chapter, and then I can hang with my girls and be in the conversation, because not much time for reading right now.
Yeah. So you're not reading anything this time, but
I've read a couple really good blogs, and I can't remember the name of the blog, but there's a lady, and she likes big, giant, fancy things, and I like big, heavy things, and so her blog is all about her adventures. Like she likes big, pieces. Fancy things, like big, giant, ornate mirrors and big, beautiful things, and I like big heavy things like old dental chairs, which
yes,
you found
one time I was at a thrift store because I love to junk. That's like my passion. One of my passions, or my hobby, I guess, is I go to thrift stores and consignment shops and stop at tag sales and all that. And I walked into this thrift store and saw a dental chair, it had a gray seat, and I was like, Elizabeth Behan. So I call you and I'm like, Elizabeth, let me show you. So I sent you a picture and you're like, get it for me. I'm gonna get it. I want it.
Yes.
So
I love that.
And
it's
you
on
have,
my front porch.
Awesome.
It's one of 2 dental chairs on my front porch, because if someone's not trying to pull your teeth out, those seats are really comfortable.
Are they comfortable? I was going to ask you.
So comfortable. Come have coffee on my front porch with me.
Really?
So neat.
They're comfortable.
Yeah, they are. They're all adjustable and they're padded, and every way you want to sit, it's able.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Wow.
And they're slightly creepy, but that's okay.
Oh,
I don't like the creepiness about them.
I
like the lines.
Well, as long as I'm not seeing that arm come over with
right.
the drill.
Right.
I'm good.
No drill.
There's
the
no
seats
drill.
are great.
It's just a seat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So those are on the front porch of our new house. Yeah.
Gorgeous. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. So what else, what are you liking these days? What are you loving these days?
Well, speaking of big heavy things, on the front porch of our local antique store, the Buried Treasure, which is this great junk store, there is this industrial knitting machine, like a sock knitting machine.
Knitting machine.
Probably weighs 200 pounds. It's this industrial hand crank knitting machine that came out of some kind of clothing like factory, because it made socks.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's all these gears and these cranks, and it holds all this yarn, and it's immense. And so it's about to come to my house to become a lamp. And I'll probably put like 20 watts of light. So it'll be like 200-pound lamp for like 20 watts of light. So the ratio is good.
Well, where would you put it? Like on a coffee table? Like on a side table?
It's big.
Oh, so it's like a floor.
Standing. You're
going to wire it and make a lamp.
Yes, because I love to make lamps.
Floor lamp.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of my
And I keep telling you should sell them at a shop, but you're like, I don't want to be responsible if someone gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
But I don't think you'd...
I haven't had any problems with them. I mean, we've been lighting up all our stuff.
Right.
I think I would sell them. I did actually have one in a store in the factory. So that's really fun. I'm not ever sure if it sold. They bought it from me. So
yeah. Because I think I think
we have great lamps.
You do a great job.
Yeah. We have fun lamps there.
You're going to rewire that.
Yes.
So that's one thing you're loving.
I'm in the process of bribing people to come and lift it for me, because I like really heavy things, but I'm not very strong.
Right.
So I will feed somebody for moving things for me. So.
Or give them a cup of coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. My currency is coffee.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
In case anyone's out there that wants to move a big heavy thing.
What else are you loving?
I think like I said, our house, there's a fireplace on the back porch, and that is really just sweet. Micah and I have really had some sweet moments of morning time coffee and hiking on our property together.
How big is it?
It's 8 acres, but
that's a lot.
It is. It's designed and laid out in a way that there's trails that kind of go up and down it. It's it's nestled in the mountains. And so we can do a lot of hiking and just walking around and being in conversation with each other. And there's not really Wi-Fi out there. So it's like a retreat. And there's a river. And so.
I love how you and your husband have ebbed and flowed and grown together. And you've lived several lives.
Right. We've been married almost 23 years.
Yeah. And before that, y'all were kind of like in vans and traveling and
did the hippie thing.
Yeah. And y'all have constantly you've changed, but you've changed for the better, but you've changed together, which is what I've seen y'all growing together. Now you each have these businesses. And you just make time for each other, which I love. We're going to go do this. We're going to go out to California and pick up,
right. We're planning on doing that again after Christmas.
You're getting another, what do they call them?
The VW vans.
VW vans.
Yeah, I think we're going to go pick one up out west and drive it home. It's ours. It's just out there already. So
Okay.
we're going to drive it home, and that'll give us a week on the road to be driving together and lots of good talk time and see the sights and do the camping and connect with each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the VW buses have
there you go.
They're camper buses. So
all you have to do is find like a little place to camp, to park it.
Yep. So
wow.
we'll do that. But yeah, it has been neat. It's been neat to grow and change together. And of course, we credit that to the Lord. You know, we are we're nothing. Our marriage is nothing without Him. We were in the midst of ending our marriage when He saved our lives. So any credit goes to Him for that. But we, you know, we're good friends, and we like similar things, and we love music. We love live music. We will.
Yeah. I was going to say, your third thing might be the band that you guys love.
We are Deadheads. And so the new life that the Grateful Dead has now with the Dead and Company with John Mayer heading that's been really fun. That's been a...
what does that mean? I don't know anything about it. With John Mayer, so...
John Mayer's the front man now. So he's like guitar, singer. He took Jerry Garcia's place.
Really?
Yeah, so it's neat.
How did I not know this? Wow.
I don't know. You know, it's a neat thing. It's bringing this band, which is timeless anyway to people who appreciate them and like them, but it really is now timeless. It's going on for another generation, and that's just something we really enjoy, is going to see live shows and the dancing and the community, the people in that genre of music, and the people who kind of travel around and see their shows. They're very community minded, and that's always our heart. And so you can go to these shows, and it's not like going to Bridgestone or to, you know, a big place where you just like go in and you find your seats and you watch the shows. There's interaction in the parking lot between people. You're meeting people. You're stopping and having conversations, really great conversations, meeting all kinds of people from different demographics. And it is a neat thing. And so we've recently been able to do that again now that the band started touring again. And that's been really fun. And it's taken us, we've seen them kind of all over the country. And it's
That's
fun.
awesome.
That is a break for Micah and I. And we recently, a couple months ago, shut the shop down for a day. And
I saw that, and I love that. I'm like, you go, girl. You do what you need to do.
Yeah. I needed a day off, so we had to shut the
time.
whole place down.
Yeah. Did your customers go,
my gosh. We just put a sign up, and I just said, Mama needs a day off. And everyone was really, our customers, I think, they saw we're a new business. I was working crazy hours. They could see it because every time they're there, I'm there,
Right.
And we didn't have anyone that wasn't like, yay, good for you, way to have your priorities straight, take a day off. For us, it was so rejuvenating to go and drive to Ohio to see one concert. That's what you do on your day off when you're us, apparently.
I can't believe you drove.
But on the way there is when we actually found out about the house being for sale.
Wow.
So it was...
So you're driving and you hear about this house, and
right.
Then
well, the night
go,
before we left, like as we left, the woman who we bought it from just stopped in the store, and we had always... It was funny because we'd heard the reputation of this home, but we'd never been to the home. We met the people. We had similar circles, but we always just heard that this house had this hospitality reputation. It was a great place for gatherings, and that's all we knew about the house. And she told me it was for sale, and I was like, oh, that's great. And and we're driving in the car, and I was like, oh yeah, so and so stopped by, and they said their house is on the market, and I didn't think anything of it. And Micah looked at me and he said, ooh, we're supposed to call about that. I'm like, what?
He wanted it, yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. All I know is that we're supposed to call. And so he could hear the Lord saying, I want you to look at that. And that was a Thursday. We went and looked on Sunday and had an offer in Sunday night. And so weird that the paperwork and everything just went so smoothly through the mortgage, and the bank people were like, this is weird. Everyone's desk just cleared and your paperwork's done. And we're like, what?
This just doesn't happen.
It was, it was so crazy. Everything was just happening kind of without us even being involved almost.
It really happened literally very quickly.
Very quickly. And
one day you were like, oh.
Yeah, that was the last thing on our list. We loved our house. We loved our little spot. We had no intention of moving. And thankfully we're in the same area. We're in a little unincorporated area called Fernvale. And we're still in Fernvale. And And that's sweet. We're 7 minutes away from the coffee shop, and
that's great.
The people that we're meeting at the coffee shop are our neighbors, and it's really neat. It's neat to not commute, and it's neat to meet the people who literally live in your town instead of we had been always driving into Franklin or driving into Brentwood for community and for life, and so we're settled in now.
Yeah, you're changing the world there. Thanks.
Well, we are creating a place for people to gather. And then
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for being on Rising Stories. I have enjoyed listening to how things worked out for you and to see that everything's going smoothly and you're enjoying life, and it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. It's been a neat adventure. I mean, our life seems to be a series of all-in adventures, and the Lord will just offer something and we'll say yes, and the more we say yes to, the more adventures he offers, and it's really fun. There's just never a dull moment in our life seemingly, and we love that. We're up for that.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
I just love hearing stories like these. She is an inspiration to us all. Her big dream is here in the Nashville area, and you can visit it and see her in action. All of the information about First District Coffee and the notes from this podcast are at CorrineSandifer.com. Don't forget to find me on Facebook or Instagram. And thanks again for listening, and keep rising in your own story.